driving business.
Welcome back, and of course you're still tuned to Smart Men's Business here on Smart 24 TV, and of course we are your daily Kickstarter. We are your roster that wakes you up in the morning to get you started. So definitely, how about you just increase your volume, because I mean we have information that you need here. But anyway, don't forget, we are powered by Zabu, and of course if you want to reach out to Zabu, you can just dial *292#. There is no hassle. Whether you have a smartphone or a button phone, you can just use that USSD code and they'll give you the very information that you need. So if you want to invest in government bonds and securities or learn about the products, you can dial *292#. And of course investment goes as low as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. 15, that is the lowest, until your maximum amount. Now of course Zabo is powered by Altec East Africa, and of course their working days are Monday to Friday from 8:15 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. so just in a few minutes, just in 10 minutes now, please just dial, and of course someone will be attending to you. So powered by Altec East Africa, and they're telling you to do something new. It's the year 2023. Now, of course, I know it's a Thursday, and some of you will be like, oh, the week is long, or you're already exhausted for the week, and you're like, oh my goodness, how do I start it? You're probably in your bed, or you're seated wondering how you're going to start your journey to work, or you already work, your laptop is right in front of you, and you're like, how do I get this started? But anyway, we are here to inspire. Let's get you inspired for the day. Right, of course, the secret to success is doing the common things uncommonly well. So you have to be extraordinarily in the things that you do, you know. If they are doing basic things, go extra, go extra. That is the thing about being uncommonly beyond. That is what they meant. You go extra, you know, go extra, go an extra mile, okay? Don't be basic. Do extra. That is what we have for you to do. Be extra. If you want to be successful, you have to go a little bit harder and a little bit different if you want to come out in that unique aspect. If you're doing business and probably people around you are into the selling phones and all that, what is that extra thing that is so special that you do that those other people around you do not have? So it takes effort, hard work. So go an extra mile, be extra in your everyday thing, even in your personality, be a little bit extra. Okay, so that is what we are here to let you know. So, and of course, I'm joined with Andrew Barije, and of course, we are still discussing matters to do with localization of agriculture in Africa, and of course East Africa, and of course Uganda as well, being the fact that we actually prioritizing agriculture even in our next financial year, 2023-2024. What is that thing that we're going to do to make sure that people are really proud of what we are and what we have? Buy Uganda, build Uganda. How far have people really embraced these products? Are they buying them, or they're just bypassing? They're like, these are for tourists, they're not ours. So Andrew Barije, what do you have for us regarding the matter?
Well, it's quite something that needs a lot of mindset change. And
true.
And sometimes the way we perceive our product, sometimes maybe it may be as a result of how we put them out there to the public. How do we introduce them? What kind of platforms do we actually use? Now that brings us back to the question of, I mean, there has been the aspect of exportation, excess exportation, that is of raw materials, most especially those to do with agriculture. And today our discussion is mainly on the localization of agriculture, that is within the East African nations. Very surprising of how we have very essential raw materials that can actually produce a majority of the goods that we consume and the consumption. That means we actually we import them, you know, which brings us to a point of, you know, excess expenditures, and that is when it comes to foreign revenue. Now, of course, we know that the East Africa region, of course, it's a region rich of agriculture heritage, as we look into that, and it produces a wide variety of crops and all that. But you see, I understand there has been an aspect of emerging markets, like India, China, and yeah, and so many more. I'm just trying to give just a few, but those are just more of the major markets, even Europe actually. And because of those emergence of those markets and the demand, the excess demand they actually have for these raw materials, we end up exporting them at the expense of the local markets. And you know, the funny thing is that once we say that we are focusing on exportation, that means there is going to be this aspect of monoculture, you know, cash crops. You know, that means if we focus on the cash crops, what will that mean? That means there is going to be scarcity of food. And once there is scarcity of food, that means there is going to be, I mean, the prices, the little that is on the market is going to increase. It's going to hike, and that is going to lead to excessive inflation. As much as we are trying to please, you know, I understand there are nations that actually
thing about buy Uganda, build Uganda, and of course you talked about the raw materials being exported, and then when maybe a local person tries to buy the raw materials, they're a bit expensive because they're not subsidized. And when so everyone can say like, oh, I sell this at this amount, what are you going to do to them? That's the price they go for. So that means that we are going to, when the produce